You can just feel that something interesting is happening right now, and honestly, it's got a lot of fans talking. At first, it might not make much sense, but once you look a little deeper, you start to see there's probably a bigger plan behind it. This could end up being one of those decisions that people question today, but completely understand later. So stick around, because there's a lot to break down, and some of these details might surprise you. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button if you're excited for this season, and let me know down in the comments by typing "Go Hawks," so I know who's representing the Seahawks community today. The latest development surrounding Jadarian Price is creating plenty of discussion because it is becoming increasingly clear that Seattle is not preparing him to immediately take over as a feature back. Instead of handing the rookie the overwhelming majority of the workload from day one, everything that has come out points toward a much more measured approach. That does not mean Price cannot eventually lead the team in carries, and it certainly does not mean the organization lacks confidence in him. The real story is that Seattle appears determined to bring him along gradually instead of forcing him into one of the most demanding roles in football right away. That detail has sparked strong reactions because many people expected a different plan after seeing where Price was selected. Some observers have questioned why a player drafted with significant investment would not instantly become the unquestioned centerpiece of the running game. However, the information coming out of the offseason paints a different picture. During offseason work, Price has been rotating with the first-team offense behind George Halani, while also sharing opportunities with Emmanuel Wilson as the Seahawks wait for Zach Charbonnet to return. Rather than building the offense around one runner immediately, the current expectation is that several backs will contribute while Price continues adjusting to the professional level. Another interesting point involves Price's development as a receiver. One of the biggest questions entering the league surrounded his production in the passing game after finishing his college career with only 15 receptions. Despite that concern, reports from the spring indicated that he looked more than capable catching the football. That may not completely erase the questions, but it certainly provides another encouraging sign that his overall skill set could become much more complete than some initially believed. Perhaps the biggest reason this conversation has become so heated is because there are different philosophies about how a rookie running back should be introduced into the NFL. Some people argue that if a team invests heavily in a player, that player should immediately receive the majority of the touches. Others believe the smarter long-term strategy is allowing a young player to grow into the role instead of placing enormous expectations on him before he has fully adjusted to the speed and physical demands of the professional game. Everything pointing out of Seattle right now suggests the organization firmly belongs to the second group. The comparison that best explains this approach is surprisingly simple. When someone jumps into a cold swimming pool, there are generally two ways to do it. Some dive straight in without hesitation, while others slowly ease themselves into the water. Seattle appears to believe Jadarian Price belongs in the second category. Rather than throwing him directly into 20 touches every week and expecting immediate dominance, the coaching staff seems comfortable allowing him to gain experience step by step. That strategy becomes even more understandable when considering the transition every rookie must make. College football and the NFL are dramatically different environments. Every defensive front is stronger, faster, more disciplined, and more capable of punishing mistakes. Even players with outstanding college careers usually experience a learning curve. Price demonstrated exciting talent during his time at Notre Dame, showing the athletic traits that convinced Seattle to invest in him. But potential alone does not eliminate the adjustment period every rookie faces. Instead of treating that learning curve as a weakness, Seattle seems prepared to manage it intelligently. Rather than demanding immediate superstar production, the organization appears willing to protect both the player and the offense by spreading responsibilities across multiple running backs. That approach also allows Price to continue developing without carrying the pressure of being responsible for the entire rushing attack from opening day. Another factor supporting this philosophy is how the running game evolved over the previous season. The rushing attack did not immediately reach its highest level. It required time before everything began working consistently. As the season progressed, the offense became more effective, and the running game eventually found its rhythm. That gradual improvement reinforces the belief that patience can sometimes produce better long-term results than forcing immediate change simply because expectations are high. Supporters of the committee approach also point toward the realities of today's NFL. Feature backs certainly still exist, but they have become much less common than in previous eras. Many successful teams now rely on multiple runners to keep everyone fresh throughout the season. Instead of exhausting one player with an overwhelming workload, responsibilities are divided based on matchups, game flow, health, and who happens to be performing best on a particular day. That flexibility often becomes an advantage over the course of a long season. The current projection for Seattle reflects exactly that mindset. Price is expected to receive opportunities. George Holani is expected to play a role. Emmanuel Wilson is expected to contribute. Zach Charbonnet is expected to return and become part of the rotation as well. Rather than viewing those players as obstacles standing in Price's way, the organization appears to view them as pieces of a larger plan designed to maximize the entire rushing attack instead of relying exclusively on one individual. Another important argument behind this approach involves durability. Heavy workloads can increase physical wear over the course of an NFL season, particularly for young players making the jump from college. Sharing carries helps preserve energy, while also giving coaches the freedom to ride whichever runner has the hot hand during a particular game. Instead of entering every contest with a predetermined distribution, Seattle can adjust based on performance, defensive matchups, and momentum. None of this should be interpreted as a lack of confidence in Jadarian Price. In fact, the opposite may actually be true. The organization invested in him because it believes he possesses considerable talent and long-term potential. The decision not to immediately label him the feature back may simply reflect confidence that he does not need to carry the offense alone to become an impact player. If he continues progressing, continues improving his complete skill set, and consistently proves himself once regular season games begin, a larger role could naturally develop over time rather than being forced immediately. For now, the biggest takeaway is surprisingly straightforward. The latest reports do not suggest Seattle is backing away from Jadarian Price. They suggest Seattle is committed to developing him carefully within a multiple running back system while allowing him to adjust to professional football at a sustainable pace. Whether that eventually leads to him becoming the clear lead back remains something only future performances can answer. But the current plan appears focused on long-term success instead of immediate headlines. What do you think about Seattle's decision to ease Jadarian Price into the offense instead of making him the unquestioned feature back right away? If you enjoyed this update, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Seahawks news. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you agree with Seattle's approach to Jadarian Price, or would you rather see him become the featured back right away? And before you go, click the video that's on your screen now, because that's where you'll find another important Seahawks update you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and remember, the latest Seahawks news always arrives here first.